Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's Thursday, 12:45, so that means we're going live on Facebook to answer your questions. We always have an hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays where we open up our office for people to come in and ask any questions. And today I'm going to be giving some information to help support all of those of you who are doing the reboot with us. What is the reboot? For those of you who don't know, this is our commitment from the 1st to the 21st to eat as healthy as possible, to be able to make sure that you're making many choices that are going to be making a stronger, healthier you and eliminating those choices that are going to compound your health issues over time. So we actually take Standard Process's purification program and we have customized it and made it a little more individual for the person to give you a little better experience than just the boilerplate version. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving you what I'm eating throughout this reboot. Everybody in the office here is actually doing the reboot this time around, and so I just want to share with you, because a lot of times people say, well, what can I eat? What are you eating? What can we do? So I'm going to be journaling every day what I'm going to be doing to help share with you ways to make it easier as possible. But first, before I do that, I have a question for you. What has 2 kidneys and generates $4 billion in profit every year? That is one of the reasons that I want to encourage people to think about how important taking care of your health is. Dialysis generates $4 billion in profit every year. This is why it is an issue with the California state right now. There is a proposition to try to limit the amount of profit that they're getting from this. And whatever your political beliefs are, that my take on it is, why don't we educate ourselves and understand what our kidneys need and what we can do to keep them as healthy as possible, to keep us from becoming one of those people who are contributing to a $4 billion a year profit from something that should be helping keep us alive. Dialysis is a very stressful thing to do for people, and it really affects quality of life. And if you can do anything now to help keep yourself becoming somebody who has to have dialysis later in life, please pay attention. Please share this video with other people, because there are so many things you can do to keep your kidneys healthy. When we have people doing this reboot, we actually use the Standard Process booklet because it helps give great ideas about what foods you can be eating and how to do that. And it talks about it, for those of you who got this book from us, on page 5, how the internal organs assist in the purification. And there's a really important part about kidneys in here: filtering waste and excess fluid from the body, regulating and release the right balance of sodium, phosphorus, and potassium for the body to function properly. This is what we're all about here, is helping your body function properly. And when you take 21 days and you focus on giving your body all the things that are just nourishing it and healing it and actually contributing to its ability to get healthier, and removing all of those things that are going to be damaging and affecting your kidneys in a really bad way, you are taking 21 days and doing a big step towards keeping yourself away from a condition that is going to make your life very difficult in the future. So there's always something you can do. That is always one of the things we want to talk about, but this is very important for those of you to think about that, because that is a massive thing that's affecting people. So what am I eating while I'm on this reboot? So far today, I have started with an SP Complete shake. Very simply, it's so easy. I get a little shaker bottle. We got a few of these here in the office. We got purple and green. If anybody wants them, I take a few scoops of this, and this is the chocolate one, which makes it very easy to drink. And then I just mix it with some actually unsweetened organic almond milk. Now the booklet does not say almond milk. However, for practical purposes and to make sure that people can do it, unsweetened organic almond milk is actually okay by me for now. Okay. Then I also had in our office, we always want to make sure people are being encouraged to eat fresh fruit. So I have, which way do you need it? Right here. I got some strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries, and these are of course organic, and we just try to have a few of those. I've had a couple of each of those so far today. And then finally it's Thursday, and on Thursdays I eat a very special blend of raw, organic, sprouted nuts. Again, the book says stay away from nuts. This is how a reboot is slightly different from the purification. I honestly believe that one of the best things you can do is have a handful of raw nuts and seeds every day. The Blue Zones confirms this. This is one of the things they find consistently around the world, where people are the healthiest, live the longest, have the lowest rates of obesity, lowest rates of cancer, lowest rates of heart disease. They're eating raw nuts and seeds almost every day. And when you sprout them, these are walnuts actually, wrong one. When you're sprouting them, you're removing a lot of the anti-nutrients like the phytates and the phytic acid that are going to keep you from getting all that awesome nutrient download that's in these. This is still the wrong one. How am I going to grab the right one? Here we go. Okay. So when you have a good variety of nuts, you're getting a huge amount of a micronutrient profile. And so many of the reasons that people are having health issues because they're not getting good micronutrients. There's so many little things in these. So on Thursdays, I have an actual blend of cashews, Brazil nuts, walnuts, pecans, and even pistachios in these. So when I get this in my hand, I get all of those nutrients as a great blend. And so on Thursdays, I do a blend of those, and every other day I do a different blend. So people are asking me what I eat. Now, another thing that I did this morning is I just went to the grocery store, went by very quickly, picked up this easy little package of cauliflower, or as somebody called it yesterday on Halloween, ghost broccoli, and carrots. And so I keep this open in here and I munch on a few of these over the course of the day. And if you need something to dip it in, there's some great organic hummuses out there that don't have any bad ingredients in them, and that kind of satisfies. The hummus is going to give you a little bit of fat and a little bit of fiber too. Remember, we want to make sure we're getting plenty of fiber in this reboot. You want to aim for 30 to 40 grams of fiber on a daily basis to make sure that your body's able to function the way you want it to. And you're also going to get some good healthy fats with that. So again, hummus or garbanzo beans aren't exclusively listed in here as a foods, but those are the ones that I'm going to say, hey, let's go ahead and incorporate those so we can make this as functional and easy as possible for people to actually make it all the way through the 21 days, making only good decisions for yourself. Okay, so I will keep this going. Today I'm probably going to head out and get a salad. For those of you in the area that want to find a good salad, now this isn't a perfect solution, but it's going to help you continue to make better choices throughout it and hopefully develop a habit for you going forward. There are great places to get salads around town. Panera is not a bad option, actually. There are some decent salads there that you can get, and there are some with some quinoa on there, so we can get a little bit of protein in there, a little bit of Kalamata olives, so that you're getting a little fiber and fat from the olives as well. So that's usually a pretty good option. And then I actually encourage people to eat beans during the reboot because of the increase in the fiber, the potassium, the magnesium. So I would include like Qdoba or Chipotle to go get a salad bowl with black beans or some beans, and then you can get pico de gallo and guacamole. You want to get lots of guac and avocado during the reboot. It's going to give you, again, more fiber, more magnesium, some potassium, all of those micronutrients that we're missing. And if we think about this back to the dialysis situation, one of the major things that we have to understand are the micronutrient needs of the kidneys. They need a lot more potassium than sodium, but unfortunately most Americans are getting a lot more sodium than potassium. And so how do we correct that? With whole foods. We can correct it with avocados, we can correct it with black beans. Look for those foods that are going to be high in potassium and make sure you're getting a lot of those during this reboot. Okay, so any other questions on it, please stop by. Everybody here is a little bit of an expert in doing this. We want to make sure that you get all the way through without it being any issue. We've had so many people, hundreds of people go through this program with us so far, and every time they do it, it gets a little bit easier. Every time we do it, we find ways to make it easier for you, so we want to make sure that we make it as easy as possible so you get the maximum benefit to the commitment that you're making in November, staying away from sugar, staying away from bread, staying away from those things that could be harming you. One thing I like to encourage people to remind them and give them a little more resolve to not pick up any bread, because I know there's a lot of bread people out there, is when we have commercially raised wheat in this country, a lot of times it is soaked in Roundup. And so we're getting things like pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, and those can really wreak havoc on your body. Your body does not want them in here because they do bad things, and it can actually disrupt your endocrine system, so you have hormone problems as well. So I'm in this month thinking in terms of looking at bread that's what I don't want to put into my body. Okay, there's multiple other reasons that I would want to stay away from that during November, so hopefully that gives you a little more resolve and it helps you make better decisions. Eating whole foods, making sure you're sticking to as many whole foods as possible during this reboot, and try to keep half of it raw. That is a really, really important point. You want to make sure you're getting some raw veggies. That's why we have this raw cauliflower, carrots, and broccoli sitting here for us. Okay, had one last question, or actually a story I wanted to share with. A lot of times people don't realize and don't want to talk about this, and that's why everybody actually kind of smirked when I told them to put this on there. But hemorrhoids was, for a while, the #1 most Google searched medical condition because nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wants to mention it. They don't want to talk about it. It's very embarrassing, I guess. But we've had multiple people who have had recurrences of hemorrhoids, but making some different food choices and making some specific additions to their diet to help heal themselves. And they have not had a single situation with that going forward. A member of my family last weekend, we were walking around New Orleans a lot, and they were kind of concerned about all of that going to aggravate what they had, and then they realized after that whole weekend, and they said to me, I'm not going to say it was a man or a woman because I don't want to embarrass them, but they said, I didn't have a single problem with that, and since I've been on this nutrition protocol you put me on, I haven't had a single problem with it in months, and I just realized that after all that walking around. So if you are struggling with that, if that is something that you are uncomfortable with or that you have any discomfort from, you do not have to. There are very simple things you can do to help your body heal that up. So if you have a question or you know somebody who suffers with that, let them know that we're here to answer questions and help guide them towards a way that their body can heal that. Gallbladders, okay? So that's the last thing. I'm always want to encourage people to understand that there is an important reason that your gallbladder is in your body. It really breaks my heart the more I keep finding out that people have had their gallbladder removed, or they get to the point where they're very sick and they have to. And a very dear friend of mine that I just realized a few years ago had to have their gallbladder removed. And we could go back in time and change that. However, the important thing is going forward, we have to understand why they got to that condition in the first place. And that means whatever it was that was causing that has not been corrected. So now we're working on correcting that so they can get back to some semblance of normalcy in their life and making sure that whatever stressor that was weighing them down, not making them feel great, they're able to move forward with their life. Gallbladders are important. You have to have them, especially when you want to be eating things with fat. Your liver will make what your gallbladder is holding on to, so you don't absolutely have to have it, but you want to support your liver in being able to continue to make that bile for it. We have a little booklet here I always want to share with, and I am sending it to my friend so he can read it over and understand, but make sure you're becoming aware of what it is, and don't just accept somebody saying, you don't need that, just take it out. There is a function, there's a purpose for it, and you still want to make sure that your body is not going to have the ill effects of not having it. There are a lot of research showing correlation of many medical conditions down the road for people after having a gallbladder removed. There are several different studies showing a huge increase in risk of colon cancer, which is one of the worst cancers that we have. So if you have had it removed or if you are concerned about it, make sure that you start looking at ways to undo where you could be going towards those stressors. And if you have more questions about that, please let us know. We'll share with you all the research and all the information that we can to help educate you about that. Okay, so we talked about the hemorrhoids, yay! We talked about the gallbladders, and we talked about the reboot. Are there any questions live right now while we're out there? Okay. Oh, hey, Lynn Carter, thank you. And yes, Teddy is in the office today, for those of you who are asking. So yeah, we have all kinds of fun things happening here today. Always stop by and say hi. We're really happy to make sure that we're doing what we can to keep everybody healthy in every way. And don't ever be shy if you're in the neighborhood. Stop in. We're happy to say hello and make sure that you have a smile on your face. So thanks for watching, guys. Keep the questions coming in. info@Strong is the best place to send those questions, and we'll make sure that we get to them live so more than one person can have those answers. And if you know anybody who is struggling with any of those conditions and they just don't know enough to educate themselves on it, please send them our way so we can give them the information they need so they can arm themselves with that information. Anybody with kidney concerns, anybody with gallbladder concerns, anybody with hemorrhoid concerns, there are things that you can do to help get your body back to functioning, and whether or not you can actually completely correct that, the important thing is that you're supporting your body's function. You're receiving that information from your body that is telling you something isn't quite right here, otherwise this wouldn't be happening. So we want to make sure that we're giving your body what it needs to get back to health. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and good luck to all you rebooters out there. Remember, if you have any questions, we're here to support you. All right, have a good one.